Gentlemen, there's something I realised doing NoFap, and more specifically, embarking on my semen retention journey. I've been on and off it for a long time. I've cured my addiction, God willing, you know. It's been 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. So I go on various streaks, but I don't really count the days. It just occurs to me, and you know, my thoughts and opinions, they evolve when it comes to NoFap specifically, because there's things that I learn constantly about NoFap. But there's something important that I learned that I want to share with you guys. And I used to get the comment a lot. And personally, I used to ask this question to myself a lot. There were periods where I felt as though NoFap wasn't working for me. There would be streaks that would go on, weeks and months on end, but I didn't feel much of an effect. You know, when they, you know, a lot of NoFap YouTubers specifically that make their channels specifically for NoFap, they'll come out and say, oh, woman, they can smell it when your balls are full, and the pheromones and the female attraction increases. And to be honest with you, I was guilty of that. Probably about a couple of years ago. I was one of those people that said, yeah, man, female attraction, it gets increased on NoFap. I even have a video on this channel that you guys can check out. I made ages ago. It's actually one of my first videos where I was convinced. What I've come to realise, what I've come to learn is that's not actually the case, because I've gone on periods where I may have had intercourse, or for whatever reason, I'm not on NoFap, whatever. And then the following day, I'm still getting incredible amounts of attention, or I'm just going about my day as normal. My energy levels haven't dropped. My anxiety hasn't increased. So then I started to question, is it a placebo? But then I spoke to someone who's more in tune with the science of these things, and he basically reassured me that it's not really a placebo. There is some science behind this, of course, with testosterone levels, etc. So we're all told that after 1 week, your testosterone levels go up by 45% and then it plateaus. Now, what my mate was telling me, who's obviously more into the science, what he was saying was that after it plateaus, it's not that your body produces more testosterone, which is actually a common misconception. What happens is your brain utilizes the testosterone that's already within your body. So you might be an individual that already has naturally very high testosterone, but because you're watching pornography and you're spunking it everywhere, it's not that your testosterone is depleting per se. You're destroying the receptors within your brain that is required to actually bind onto the testosterone to actually utilize it so you can feel the effects. So you might have high testosterone, but you'll feel the effects of an individual as if he had low testosterone, because your brain is not using it, because you've cooked out your receptors because of excess dopamine, because of pornography. Apparently it's one of the main reasons why it burns out those receptors over time, especially if you flood it with dopamine, essentially. So that makes perfect sense to me. So when you go on NoFap, the reason why you build muscle and your skin gets clearer and you become a lot more confident is because your body is now actually using the testosterone that was already within it. You don't need to increase it per se. I mean, it's always a benefit if you increase it, but more importantly, your brain needs to rebuild those receptors so that it can bind onto the testosterone to then actually feel the effects of increased testosterone that was already within your body. So my mate kindly explained to me that, in fact, it's not a placebo effect. There is actually science behind it. So that is very encouraging news for myself and you guys as well. But perhaps it's a concept that you guys may have heard before. But what I wanted to make one thing very clear is the reason why NoFap might not be working for you specifically, what I've come to realize is the efficiency. It's what you are doing with that added spare time now that you're not masturbating. That is the point here, because what I found in the early days, and the reason why NoFap wasn't working for me when I was on streaks, is because I wasn't using my time productively. And what I mean is this: NoFap is a catalyst. So NoFap is a catalyst that will change your life. It is the fundamental building block. It is the first stage. But NoFap as a tool on its own will not actually catapult or change your life. You yourself will change your life. It is the first step. It's a perfect first step. It's the introduction, but it's not the sole thing that's going to change your life. And that's the biggest misconception and the biggest mistake that I made. So what you have to come to realize is, now you have added time, you have to use it productively. The reason why NoFap wasn't working for me was because I wouldn't watch pornography, great first step, but then I'd still sit there and play FIFA, Grand Theft Auto, watch Netflix, eat absolute crap, not go to the gym, and then weeks would go by, and then I wonder why I still feel like absolute crap. It's not rocket science. What I've come to realize is not only have you got to stop watching and masturbating, but you have to use that new added spare time productively. Because in conjunction, combined, when you quit, when you actually embark on NoFap and then you use your time productively, that's where you see the benefits. And part of that is the dopamine detox that I spoke about on multiple times on this channel. It's not the semen in and of itself in your balls per se. It's the dopamine receptors in your brain. They need time to heal. They need time to recover. You've burnt them out. You've flooded your brain with dopamine. I have on multiple occasions for years on end. And you guys have done the same as well. It's why you don't have pleasure in the little things in life. It's why you find things so boring very quickly, because you've cooked out your dopamine receptors. It's why you have high anxiety levels. It's part of the reason. So when you reset your dopamine levels by doing NoFap and using your time productively, that's when you reap the real benefits. It's the dopamine receptors that you're resetting, not the semen. So don't be scared of having sex and, oh my God, my semen is so precious. No, semen retention, the purpose isn't the actual semen that you're holding within. It's the actual receptors that you're giving time to heal. And that's why mentally you feel much better. You start to find pleasure in the little things in life. You start to enjoy going for walks and indulging in wholesome activities. And that's the other thing I also wanted to obviously mention on top of the obviously semen retention as well. A lot of people feel as though that if they retain their semen, but they still watch pornography and they edge, they will still reap the benefits. And that is, again, the massive misconception. If you are edging, you might as well watch pornography. Honestly speaking, you might as well let it go. Because edging is one of the worst things that you can do, because you're not letting your dopamine receptors heal. You're frying your brain with more dopamine. If anything, it's worse than what you were doing previously. It's the worst thing that you can do. Don't even edge. Don't even watch pornography. Don't even tempt yourself. You have to be productive. You have to let your brain heal. You have to give ample time for your brain to heal. And once that process occurs and you're productive, that's when you reap the benefits. That's what I learned with NoFap, and that is my latest position, and I think that is the position that I'll cement it at in terms of NoFap. It's not the semen per se, it's up here. It's up here. It's the receptors, it's the testosterone. It's how you perceive life. It's not really down here. It's up here. And the minute you realize that, the minute you stop counting days, the minute you use your new spare time productively, and you understand that you need to give your brain time to heal and your receptors to recover, then the benefits come. That's when the real healing begins. I think a lot of guys miss this cue. They assume that, oh, just because I'm retaining my semen for 110 days, all of a sudden he's going to become Saiyan and Superman. That's not how it works. I hope I've cleared things up for you. I hope there's a bit more clarity for you guys as well. If you have any questions, please leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to interact with you. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.